Next caller is Heidi in Cashiers. Hi, Heidi.
Hello. Once again, I am so grateful for your timely show. I'm in the Sapphire Cashiers area of North Carolina, and I'm just, starting to be ready to start planting gardens and that sort of thing, and I'm going to keep it to a minimum to get started. I'm looking for native perennial flowering shrubs that would attract birds for an east-south exposure, full morning sun through probably noon at least. I haven't been here for the whole year, so I don't know exactly how that's going to work. Well-drained soil, so I'm going to want to also know about the water requirements. How's that for a question?
Tell us the aspect again. That you said, was it north,
southeast?
Southeast.
It was southeast exposure. Full morning sun, the whole morning it'll get sun, but it's facing south.
And what is your soil like where you are?
Very sandy.
Sandy.
Wow.
Very sandy and
shallow.
Probably, and that's the second part of my question is advice about raised beds, because my thought is there are already existing raised beds in the front of my house. This would be at the rear of my house, and steep slope, which is why I say well-drained. And I'm thinking that maybe doing a raised bed where I can control the soil quality might be a way of handling this.
It could be, but I think if your target is birds, if you're trying to attract birds into your landscape, you actually have a very good siting, I would think, for doing some plants that will produce fruits that will attract birds. So you want to look at things like blueberries.
Oh,
for
wonderful.
Sure. That sandy soil, the Cashiers area, depending if you're from there or not, that area is kind of really well known for having really acid soil, which blueberries will thrive in. Sandy soil, they'll thrive in that too. So look to blueberries. Now there's a lot of different cultivars and species of blueberries that you can use in your landscape there. There's a very low one up there, the low bush blueberry, which is very common all throughout your woodlands there in what we call the pine oak heath.
How do you spell that?
Low bush blueberry.
What's the pine oak heath?
That's the habitat.
It's a forest community.
It's a forest type that they tend to be really abundant in.
Good.
I would suggest that but that's only going to get a foot to foot and a half tall. And then there's a whole slew of other taller blueberries that will do well there. The southern high bush, the northern high bush, rabbit eyes are all good choices.
And they get taller, so would they be good background?
Yeah, they're going to get 5
plants?
feet.
Right. And did you mention trees that you're thinking of, or do you have enough?
No, I have. I'm all set for trees. I had to remove a bunch because they had been, poor babies, they'd been lightning struck, some of them twice. One had its crown burnt out, and oh dear, poor thing. So I've made a little bit more light for this area, and the birds are already, I've watched them. I've only been here since the end of November, and I've watched the birds working through the leaf litter, so I know the birds are already attracted to this area.
Well, and there's a couple, all those blueberries that we mentioned are kind of good for what I would call the foreground and the midground. And then behind that, if you really wanted to go a full season of bird-attracting, fruit-producing plants,
please.
You could do American holly.
Holly would be good.
What a lovely idea.
Which is going to get much taller. You can plant that behind there.
Yeah. How tall? How do they get? They become trees.
Yeah,
don't they?
They're big.
30 feet or more tall.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd be careful where I plant those. I might want to do that on the corner of the house.
Yeah,
so it has two angles to grow out into.
Yeah, and we plant those because they're going to attract in the late winter, early spring, they're going to attract huge hordes of things like cedar waxwings and robins, of course. Also love that.
And it also gives them wonderful winter nesting cover.
The cover's important.
And I haven't
They like
seen
to
any
cover.
cedar waxwings yet. Oh, that would be so exciting.
Yeah. So, and another thing to think about, viburnum, of course, another good group. The dog, what are they called? Hobblebush or
there are a number of
possum
native viburnums.
And they flower in the summer or the
spring. In spring, and then fruits are available later. But also the evergreen ones would be good cover for nesting birds as well, or just
fabulous
winter cover.
Right,
Yeah.
and
something else we never talk about when we're talking about planting a garden for birds is the fact that most of our birds aren't frugivorous. Most of them don't eat fruits. They're going to be after insects. And so I always try and encourage people to put some insect-attracting species into your landscape, and that can be things with lots of flowers, but it can also be things that get
with
a lot of
leaves.
insects on their leaves, right, Lisa? So my two favorites for attracting neotropical migrants are willows, any species of willow. They're not the most attractive thing you're going to put in your landscape because they do get bug eaten, but all those bugs will attract all those warblers that migrate through in the spring and the fall. And the other one I really like is a sugarberry, but it gets to be a tall tree. It's also sometimes called eastern hackberry.
And it's not such a good-looking tree either.
Neither one of those are good-looking plants.
I can't even
They're
get to
fantastic for
Now,
for
willows,
birds.
are you talking about a tree or a shrub?
We have both.
Both would be,
Yeah,
Oh,
you can plant something there.
fascinating.
Yeah, there where you're at, you could plant something as attractive as a pussy willow.
Okay.
You could
good.
put in a species that is a dwarf species like Salix sericea, silky willow, or western prairie willow, which is Salix humilis. There's just no end to willows you could put in.
Oh,
there.
goody.
And
Okay.
if you have a spot that you could plant any of our native oaks, they're probably number one on the genus list for really great insect supporting.
well, I am blessed with oaks.
You've got plenty of oaks. This is good because you think oaks. You
done
think
some serious identifying, and I'm okay for oaks.
okay. Well,
In fact, I have a couple of varieties that I can't remember now, but I wrote them down somewhere.
it's all those caterpillars that are eating the loopers that are eating those
Yeah.
leaves that are food for those baby birds. So we
Okay.
like oaks.
Yay.
Yeah. I hopefully that's giving you some good
Okay,
ideas.
that's wonderful. Because once I plant it, I just want to let nature do. All right, now what about water requirements for these? Because it's on a slope, and even if I do a raised bed,
get
that's
plenty
going
of
to drain into
rain.
the slope, obviously. Pardon me?
I don't think you'll need to worry about sufficient moisture in
Really?
that part of the
Cashews,
world.
yeah.
You want to make sure that you have them well irrigated
Well
for
drained,
the first month and a half that you have them in the ground. If you're planting
Then
in the
after
spring.
that, they'll be okay on their own, which is one of the main attractiveness qualities of a native plant, obviously.
And don't be reluctant to put some mulch, or if you've got leaves, to add that to the top of your sandy soil.
I've got mulch.
Okay, good.
I've got mulch, too. All those poor trees that had been attacked by the lightning
There you go.
are now mulch, and they are on my property.
Excellent. Never
So
let
I'm
mulch
ready to
leave
go.
your property, that's for sure. Well, good luck with that, Heidi.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you again to ETV, which I became a member of the last fundraiser, and I'm so grateful because now I don't feel guilty when I call you.
Oh,
And
well-
so I want to encourage other people to join the next time there's a fundraiser. You don't have to wait until then, but if you need to, then wait. But do contribute to this fabulous station. It's just an amazing network.
Thanks, Heidi.